Could the price of silver really hit $100 per ounce? Keith Neumeyer of First Majestic Silver has said he sees the white metal reaching $100 per ounce. And after you like the video and subscribe, please comment down below if you think silver could hit $100 and when. I will throw my answer out there in a second, but first and foremost, welcome to your daily silver news. My name is Silver Slayer, and if you want the latest information on what's happening in the world of precious metals brought to you on a daily basis, wrapped up in a shiny YouTube video, then click subscribe. Also, if you want to purchase some of this shiny stuff before it hits potentially $100, then send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Slayer sent you. We have tons of deals. Andy Scheckman is the CEO. It's a legit company, trusted, respected, and we have great prices. So make sure you hit them up and take advantage of these prices while you still can. Now, Keith Neumeyer is a legend. He has been very vocal with the silver shortage as well. You know, him, David Morgan, of course, Keith Neumeyer, people like that, Ted Butler, Andy Scheckman. These people have been very vocal and they aren't afraid to tell the truth. A lot of people are. So I always respected Keith Neumeyer, especially, you know, since he is the CEO of a massive company, he's sticking his neck out there saying very bullish prices. A lot of CEOs aren't going to do that. Hint, hint. Actually, I'm not even going to say names. I was about to say the person's name, but we'll leave it out. Just know there's other mining companies and other CEOs in the silver world that are going to potentially purposely say the opposite. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we all know the truth. Anyways, silver's spot price has surged to nearly 40% in the first 8 months of 2025 to reach a 14-year high, breaking through the $40 per ounce mark in early September. The white metals rallied on growing economic uncertainty amid ongoing geopolitical tensions and U.S. President Donald Trump's escalating trade war. And by the way, right now, silver is sitting at $42, folks, above 42. That's massive. That is beyond massive, because if we hit 50, then 100 is shortly after. Now, and I could almost guarantee that if we break past 50, silver's all-time highs, we will see $100 shortly after. It might not stay there for, too long, but it will hit there, and it might drop back a little bit to like 85 or whatever, maybe 75, and then it's going to go back up, and prices will stabilize higher and higher and higher. It's a gradual incline, not overnight explosion. You don't want that because prices don't have any time to stabilize and then it crashes and it won't ever go back up to that original price. Hint, hint, what happened in 1980 and 2011. So anyways, well-known figure Keith Neumeyer, CEO of First Majestic, has frequently said he believes the white metal could climb even further, hitting a $100 mark or even reaching as high as $130 per ounce. Neumeyer has voiced his opinion often in recent years. He put up a $130 price target in a November 2017 interview with Palisade Radio. I remember covering that actually. He also discussed it in an August 2022 interview with Wall Street Silver. He has reiterated his triple-digit silver price forecast in multiple interviews with Kitco over the years, including one in March of 23. In 2024, Neumeyer made his $100 silver call in a conversation with ITM Trading's Daniela Kimbone at the Prospects and Developers Association of Canada convention. And in April of that year, he acknowledged his reputation as the triple-digit silver guy on the Todd Alt podcast. I remember at the Silver Symposium, I live streamed it. He was there, and he talked about not only triple-digit silver, but he also admitted the silver shortage, where another guy that was also there from another mining company, I'm not going to say his name, said that we have plenty of above-ground silver, even though the rest of the seminar, he goes into all of the silver shortage statistics and production and, declining production and increasing supply and all. So it's very contradictory, and that's why I don't think these people always have the most genuine motives on what they're saying. But at the end of the day, like I said, we all know the truth. The numbers don't lie. And if you're new here, welcome to the world of silver stacking. I hope you stick around. Silver will save your life. And I say that because it will save your bank account, your hard-earned money getting burned away literally in your bank account, since the dollar's lost 98% of its purchasing power. Silver and gold is a way to preserve your wealth, and obviously your finances, your money is your livelihood. And if your livelihood gets taken from you, what does that mean? So when I say silver can save your life, it will definitely protect you and protect, what you have. When we talk about a financial reset or the dollar failing or a system collapse, if all of your money is pegged to the dollar, everything is going down with it. That's including stocks and anything. So protect yourself. It's called a safe haven asset for a reason. But anyways, just check out some of my most recent videos. My most recent video actually shows a graph of when we are literally going to run out of silver, and we're only a few years away. Proof is in the pudding. The numbers don't lie. People do. So at times he's been even bolder, suggesting in 2016 that silver could reach $1,000 if gold were to hit $10,000. More recently, his expected timeline for $100 has been pushed back, but he remains very bullish in the long term. By the way, folks, I made a post about Charlie Kirk. I'll probably make an entire separate video addressing it. Not to just throw it in for 30 seconds in this video, but stick around for it. I definitely want to talk about the situation. I really, this isn't a political channel, but we have to talk about politics because politics affect the price of the metal. So I would be leaving out a massive chunk of it's like not filling in the entire puzzle. You're trying to fit together a puzzle, but you're purposely leaving out, 10 or so pieces. It's not, you won't get the full picture. Politics do play a massive role, so I have to talk about it. I don't have to throw my opinion politically. I don't care if you're left, right, up, down, front, center, sideways, to the middle, even a little bit crooked. I don't care. I have my beliefs. You have your beliefs. I'm sure we share a lot of these same beliefs. I've seen statistically, I've posted polls on here, and we're all on the same page. But at the end of the day, I still wanted to share my thoughts on it, and my, just put a little bit of, respect out there for someone who since 2012 started, Turning Point, and has done a lot for, the country. So why is Neumeyer calling for a $100 silver price? I'm glad they mentioned that. Anyone can just say, oh, I think silver's going to hit $300. But if you don't say why, you're not really saying much, are you? So Neumeyer believes silver could hit $100 due to a variety of factors, including its consistent deficit. He would know more than anyone. He's the one literally digging it out of the ground himself. Its industrial demand, and how undervalued it is compared to gold. There's a significant distance for silver to go before it reaches the success Neumeyer has boldly predicted. In order for the metal to jump to $100, its price would have to increase from its current value by around 175%. Now, with silver at $42, I don't know what percentage jump that would be. I don't really want to bust out my calculator right now, but, it still has a ways to go, but first we have to get to 50, and we're only less than $8 away from 50. Neumeyer has previously said he expects a triple-digit silver price, in part because he believes in the market cycle, which is comparing it to the year 2000 when investors were sailing high on the dot-com bubble and the mining sector was down. He thinks it's only a matter of time before the market corrects like it did in 2001 and 2002, and commodities see a big rebound in pricing, or even price discovery. It was during 2000 that Neumeyer himself invested heavily in mining stocks and came out on top. Quote, I've been calling for triple-digit silver for a few years now, and I'm more enthused now. And I do agree. If silver ever was to, quote-unquote, explode or break out or skyrocket, right now is the time. This is the time we've all been waiting for. So Neumeyer said that at an event in January of 2020, noting that there are multiple factors behind his reasoning, but I'm cautiously enthused because, I thought it would have happened sooner than it currently is happening. Well, there's a reason why, and that reason is price suppression on the COMEX. Western price suppression. Don't believe me? Well, it's a fact. In an August 2022 article or in an interview with Wall Street Silver, he reiterated his support for triple digit silver and said he's not alone in this optimistic view. In fact, he's been surpassed in that optimism. I actually saw someone the other day call for $500 silver. I'm not quite sure I'm at that level. Give me $50 and then we'll see what happens after that. And that's kind of where I am. You know, once we hit $50, the sky is literally the limit. We have no idea what silver would do because there's no ceiling there. Silver kept hitting its head against the $30 psychological level. Then, you know, the next level is going to be $50. But you see how fast once silver did break above 30 and stood there, now we're at 42. That's big. I mean, that's never happened. And last time it did happen, it went to 50. There's been other times, like in January of 21, where it shot up to like $29. But then it goes back down and it stays there for years and years. This time, and that's because it shot up so fast to $29. Remember, silver was $11 in March of 2020, and in January or February of 2021, it's at $29. Prices, and do you want to know why it went to 29, dropped way back down? Because it happened so fast. Prices didn't have time to gradually incline up to 29. Prices need to stabilize. They need to be able to have time to gradually approach, and silver has done that this time, and that's why we didn't see it drop all the way back down when it hit 40. We're staying up here, 41, 39, okay, 40, 41, 42, maybe back down to 41 or 40, and then it's up to 43, 44. Next thing you know, it's broken all-time highs. Everyone's throwing their money in. People are taking money out of gold, putting it into silver, trading the gold to silver ratio, and if even 1% of the gold market goes to silver, that could send prices parabolic because gold is a much bigger market than silver. Another factor driving Neumeyer's position is his belief that the silver market's in a deficit. In a May 2021 interview, he presented a supply side data from the Silver Institute indicating the biggest surplus in silver market history. Neumeyer was blunt in his skepticism. Quote, "I think these numbers are made up," he said. "I wouldn't trust them at all." And actually, that came out to be true. First, they had to revise the numbers, but also they don't even incorporate the two biggest sectors, which is military and aerospace. The military industrial complex stopped reporting their silver reserves in 1995, and the Department of Defense stopped in 2002. So we have no idea how much. And then aerospace, so the Silver Institute doesn't use those numbers at all, even though those numbers are bigger than solar alone, which is the number one sector. But we have aerospace, military, bigger sectors, but those numbers aren't incorporated. So if we have a deficit of over 1 billion ounces in the last 5 years, it's actually much higher than that because we're not even calculating all the silver used. I'm guessing the mining sector produced something in the order of 800, maybe 825 million ounces in 2022. When giving a fourth quarter 2022 overview, consumption numbers look like they're somewhere between 1.2 to 1.4 billion ounces due to all the great technologies. So, you know, it's a big deficit. It's a massive deficit, especially when you think about those deficits are much more exaggerated than on paper. So, and this is very interesting as well. And this is how you know there's corruption. Check this out. And I'm glad that this happened, actually. So, the Canadian government posted a 2024 critical minerals list showing all of the different minerals and elements and how scarce they are and if it's critically low, like becoming extinct. And there was all of these metals on there, even including gold, ones like that you've never heard of in your life, like 50 or so, minerals and all of these ones that nobody's ever heard of that are critically low, about to be extinct, that are critical minerals though, like important things. But silver wasn't on there. Silver's the most important element out of all of those that is critically low. That's critical. They purposely left off silver, and I know it was John Forrest Little was really pushed them on that, and it's looking like Keith Neumeyer, he also, First Majestic sent them a letter as well urging that silver be recognized as a critical mineral. And then the important part about that is silver's inclusion on the list would allow silver producers to accelerate the development of strategic projects with financial administrative assistance from the government. Do you see why they left it off? Because if it's on there, they have administrative assistance from the government. Neumeyer once again highlighted this sizable imbalance in silver's supply-demand picture. We're 6 years into the deficit. 6 years, year after year after year. So, kind of saying a lot of the same stuff. What factors in silver's price? Interest rates, of course. We're looking at 25, maybe 50 point basis cut. Massive for silver. They're calling it a, what are they calling it? Man, it was like jumbo base cut or something. That's like the new term. I forget what it was. It was something like that. Jumbo rate cut or something like that. It's like 50 points instead of just 25. But, you know, that's going to be crazy. But we're already at 14-year highs. The war, lots of different things could affect the price. But at the end of the day, you never know, because on paper, silver should be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. How could you compare what an ounce of silver is worth when you're comparing a dollar's worthless, consistently losing purchasing power's value compared to an ounce of silver that holds its value over time? It is actually being needed more and more crucial as the dollar becomes more worthless. How could you compare an ounce of silver to that? Who knows what it should be? Can it hit $1,000 per ounce? Who knows? I mean, if gold climbs to 10,000, then what could silver be? If you want to use, then they're talking about the gold to silver ratio, then who knows? I mean, look at this. When gold's $3,000, silver would be around $400. And that's with a ratio 1 to 9. And they say that because it comes out of the ground roughly 8 to 1, 7 to 1, 8 to 1, 9 to 1. That's why they're saying that price. They're not just saying 9 to 1 out of nowhere. That's because that's the rate it comes out of the Earth's crust. So, yeah. Very interesting stuff. Hope you enjoyed this article. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Silver is at $42.21 right now, folks. Beautifully sitting above $40, right? That is massive. Comfortably sitting above $40. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure if you want to purchase some of this shiny stuff before it really takes off, send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know Slayer sent you. I promise someday you will be wishing you could build a time machine and go back to September 12th, 2025 and pay $42 for an ounce of silver. You'll be wishing that. People will be wishing they could buy silver for $42 an ounce. But that will be in the future after it's already exploded. Right now, we still have that opportunity. Take advantage of it. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.